Welcome to Germinating Super Hot Pepper Seeds, episode number 9. We're going to start out today opening up. I opened up one of these paper towels to the Moringa scorpion, and boom, a sprout. You can barely see it. Just a little in the center of that camera there. To me, this is gold. This means that usually you're going to have good luck having, when you plant that into one of these pods, it's probably more than likely going to sprout within a couple of days. So that's what I'm looking for. It's good to be patient. This is why patience pays off when you germinate these seeds in the paper towels, because they're not going to all pop at the same time. They take maybe one or two at a time, once a day type of thing. It's kind of spotty. But patience pays off. I looked through every single one of these. Moringa scorpion. This is the only one that I saw today that had one seed that sprouted. Out of all of these today. A little frustrating, but you know, hey, that's life in the super hot neighborhood. So one is better than none. Pod group 1. Unchanged since yesterday. All the slots that I've sowed back in December that are shown over here, that's highlighted, have all popped in their spots. You can see that this ghost pepper right here, has got some good new leaves. Some focused. Some new leaves. Sorry about that. Got unfocused somehow. But yeah, this particular ghost pepper is getting its new leaves, true leaves. There's the new leaves, and then there's the true leaves. The true leaves are starting to come in. It's looking pretty good. Pod grouping 2, which is mostly all of these are ghost peppers except for this row, which is 7-pod Douglow. 7 pods have not come in yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig those up, those seeds out, put them back on the paper towel, and I've been having luck with putting them back on the paper towel and then having them sprout on the paper towel, and then putting them back in here. The paper towel is sort of like the bellwether of whether or not it's going to actually take and start producing the seedlings once they pop. So some really good true leaves coming in on some of these ghost peppers. You can see, wow. Just nice big true leaves coming in. Really am excited about these. So probably the next day or so I will put them in cups. I'm trying to let them grow a little bit taller before I do that. You don't want them getting too much bigger though, because then their roots start tangling. If there's two in like one pod, the roots will start tangling amongst each other and they're harder to pull apart. Okay, so for the second pod grouping, I did take these 3. I took those 3 7-pod Douglows out because they weren't sprouting. Because I had put them in 12 days ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to X them out. These are basically now open or new. Basically open pods for any new seeds that might come in. I put the ones I dug out back into the envelopes, somewhere over there. As you can see, some of the pods look a little dry on this end, so I'm going to water those down. Always make sure that you don't see any dry spots before you put them back up for the night. For the record, 1, 2, and 3, left to right. This is where they stand on January 11th, episode number 9. The reason these are sort of growing in that direction is because where I have the heat lamp, it's sort of like horizontal, almost horizontal to it. Ideally, I would like the heat lamp to be right directly above, but that is not how I have my setup currently. I'd like to. I know I need to improve that, but I just haven't gotten to it. All right, I've put them back up to the heat lamp. Like I said, this is not where I would really ideally like to have my heat lamp. I'd like to have it directly above, but I just can't do it in the situation I have down where I'm at right now. So, but yeah, there's room for improvement. Tonight I've got, from left to right, I've got pods. This is pod number 1. No. This is pod number 2 I've got over here. Make sure. It's hard to see what I got here. Oh, no. Yeah, this is what I wanted to do. I'm putting pod 3 over here. Usually I put pod 1 or 2 from this far away from the heat lamp. I'm going to put pod 3 over here. Putting pod 2 in the middle. These are most of the ghost peppers. And I'm going to put pod 1 over here. Sort of not getting direct as much heat over there. Most of the heat is hitting this one. So I'm trying to alternate where I'm putting these so that they alternate. They'll all sort of get the same level of heat over the course of 3 days. Now, as you can see, these are sort of bent that way because last night this side was facing the heat lamp, but tonight I'm going to face them this way, so that all these will kind of straighten out. Same thing going on over here. A little to that extent. I'm trying to keep them straight as I can, and that's just because I just can't get the heat lamp directly over where I ideally like to have it. And here's 3 of the ones that I've cupped. I cupped these about 3 days ago. Haven't really grown too much. You don't expect them to grow very much. Once they get to this size, it's hard to really see the growth from day to day. It's more like seeing the growth week to week when they end up in the cups. So it's sort of like the second stage of their seedlingness. Alright, so I'm going to go to this grow stand down here, this LED grow stand that I got, and see how things are going down here. I don't expect much has happened in the day, but I'll just document it anyways. Pull these out. Make sure that they have adequate moisture, and it appears there is. And they haven't really grown too much, but as I said before, once they get to about the size, you can't really tell what they've really done from day to day. It's more like, hey, I can tell that there's some growth that's occurred within about a week apart. It's like watching kids grow. You can't see them grow once they're a little older than little babies. I mean, once it's harder to see them grow once they are, see the changes in their growth size once they are older than just little tiny babies. Alright, I got the domes back on, and I did a count of all the sprouts that are either in the cups or have popped out of these pods, and the grand total is 55. Yesterday it was 50 that have popped up above the soil from the beginning of my adventure here. If you like what you're seeing, you need to give me a subscribe. I could use one. I appreciate it. Thank you. Good night.